Hello, hello everyone. I hope that you're all doing really well. It's so nice to see you all here, honestly. Like it's amazing. Do you know what I do is sometimes I read the chat and it's so nice to know that so many of you are so supportive and kind to one another. But I guess that's what empaths do, don't they? Right, guys? Big love to every single one of you. Hello, Midnight Blue. Eric Jackson, I see you there. We got Peter Pan. We have got Peter Pan. Why are you here? Neverland is so much better. And my blind Chialfi, oh bless you. You got the same dog, well, same name as my dog. Oh, amazing. Thank you for joining us here. Anna, thank you so much. So sweet. Thank you, Chris. Hello, Michael. James. Where are you guys from? Where is everyone from? And Joseph, Roxanne, hello, all of you. Like, honestly, this is just so amazing. And Flying Cosmo, that's such a cool name. That is such a cool name. How are you all doing? And also, what part of the world are you from? Hello, Phoenix Power. What part of the world are you from? I'm in sunny but cold UK. Look, I'm not moaning. We're not starting off with moaning about the weather again. Carla, you're from Portugal. Amazing. Amazing place. I bet it's lovely and warm there. Edward, thank you so much. Laurie, bless you. Hello, how are you? Beverly. I love you guys. From Central Texas. Goodness me. It's far. Southeast UK, Chris. Another Chris from Southern California. Megan, hello, from Nebraska. Do you know what? You guys are from like literally all over the world. It's amazing. US. You're in the UK. Oh, of course, in Koha, they got Poland here. Yay. Hot and humid Florida. Do you know what? I'd love it if it was like that here. We got Paul from France. Love your country. Hello, Paul. And Shego from Canada, Alberta, in the midst of the forest fires. Yes, bless you. How is that? Like, how are you with all of that? Because I know that there's so much going on. In the West Midlands. Oh, you're from the West Midlands. Bless you. And Oxford. Hello, Oxford. Right. And Slovenia. Amazing, amazing. I'll be flying over Slovenia in a few weeks. Anyway, guys, we are here, Phoenix Power in Hertfordshire, near my neck of the woods. Thank you, Beverly. Right, guys, do you know what? I could sit here the whole time, like reading the comments. I love it. But we must get on. Before we do, actually, guys, hit the like button. Oxford, this is your cue. Hit the like button. Oh, and Andy, you're here. Hello. And I'll be from Eastern California. Yes, guys, hit the like button, okay? Because then this information will get out there and more people will watch it. Hello, Mark, and you're from Scotland. Bless you. Hello. See you, Eric. So today, guys, do you know what? Today's going to be more, do you know what I was thinking whilst I was doing like some like research, and I was just thinking about how I was going to plan, you know, this live. I think, do you know what, guys? I'm going to do this more kind of like a workshop type sort of thing, because I'm thinking if we're talking about emotional trauma, all right, this is to help you. I'm gonna use like cognitive behavioral techniques, so that's CBT, and that's all about looking at how you can cognitively change. So that's about your thoughts. That's the way that you're thinking. So it's about changing that, being aware of your thoughts and being able to manage them. Because remember, if we're going to initiate change, we have to be able to be aware, because that, my friends, that is what is the most important part of it, is the awareness, all right? If we understand ourselves, our bodies, why we're reacting like this, how our mind is working, then this will really help us to initiate change, okay? Because if we have awareness, That is how we move on. This is what I tell all my clients. For those of you that are in the live chat or watching, you know what I'm like. I'm always like, right, you've got to get aware and you've got to be able to move forward from this. All right. We do not stay stuck. Okay. We're not going to stay stuck because we're not victims in all of this. We're not victims. This is not victim mentality. So what we have to do is we have to move forward from this. All right. And look at this in a completely different, we're going to reframe this. All right. That's what we're going to do. We're going to be doing reframing because this is what is most important. And I know that emotional trauma keeps us stuck. And it actually, do you know what? Emotional trauma is one of the hardest things for a human being to comprehend. And the fact that we have had it to that degree, okay, means that we are survivors. We are not victims in all of this because we weren't even prepared. We didn't choose this. And at the time, we didn't even know this was happening. So do you know what? We have got through something that has been so traumatic, so hard, so abusive. And you are here now. You know what, guys? There's a hats off to each and every one of you because you are putting the time, the effort, and the energy into healing. All right, into moving forward, understanding this and moving forward. So that's what we're going to be doing. All right, that is what we're going to be doing. We're going to be moving forward today. But what I wanted to do is we are going to be looking a lot about like what's happening in our bodies when we're experiencing trauma, emotional trauma. And absolutely, Roy, we're going to be doing all about the neural pathways. We're going to be looking at like hormone changes within our body and why we feel the way that we do, what happens like when we're experiencing flashbacks, how we manage that, you know, because PTSD is huge. All right. And a lot of us like don't really like understand what the PTSD is. I mean, I know that when I'm doing client work, a lot of us don't understand that actually this is what we are experiencing. So I really want to like kind of hone in on the PTSD because I feel like this is something that we actually really experience right at the beginning. Maybe not so much later on, but right at the beginning. And we're like, oh, is that what this is? Is this why I'm feeling like this? Is this why this is coming up for me? So, what I'm kind of saying is that let's understand what PTSD is. And if you are on this live and you recognize that perhaps maybe you are experiencing PTSD, then what I would say to you is try and get help, because I'm not going to be able to do it like here because this is more specific work, and because this is a public forum, I'm not going to be able to kind of do that. And also it'd be very dangerous if I did, because what happened if there was an adverse reaction? I can't get to you. So if you recognize that maybe you are experiencing symptoms of PTSD, please do go and get like professional help or someone that specializes in this. Okay, so that's what I would say. That's what I would say to each and every one of you. For those of you that have just joined, please do hit the like button. I would be so grateful for that, because this really helps with the algorithm and get this information out there. So let's help more people who are experiencing this. Do you know what? It makes me really sad saying that actually there's people out there like that don't understand that they are going through this and that they are experiencing this. And it makes me so sad, like so many more people are going to go through this. But it's like what I said right at the beginning. If we have awareness, then we know we can move forward. We can do something about it. Cougar Novitsky says, I got spiritually awakened. I just see them as creatures that they are controlled by demonic entities. There is some truth to that. And that's all I'm saying on the subject. Okay, so emotional trauma, one of the hardest things to comprehend. We don't necessarily know that it's actually happening at that time, in that moment. So when we are going through this, it really disables us in a way that we don't trust ourselves. We disconnect from who we are. And trauma has a sneaky way of doing that, because when we're experiencing adversity, okay, our brain, our body tries to protect us. So when we disconnect, it means that we don't feel. So in that moment, we are not feeling. We are trying to cope, to really be honest with you. And I'm sure that each and every one of you have probably heard of the fight, flight, or freeze. So these are the responses to the adversities that we are experiencing in that moment. Oh, Laurie, I'm really happy. I'm really happy. That's good. Thank you for saying that. So what happens when the trauma sets in is that we're not feeling, we're not understanding. And in that moment, it could be that we're actually in the relationship still with the narcissist. It could be that we have left this situation. We're in the midst of a trauma bond. Trauma, again, emotional trauma bond. Can you see it's just trauma, trauma, trauma. So our body disconnects from our brain and we disconnect spiritually and emotionally. It's almost as though we are numb. We don't feel, we don't know, we don't understand. It's almost as though everything is a blur. This is why we experience cognitive dissonance as well. This is all to protect us in a way. Our mind and our body does this to protect us from this adversity. And so the journey to healing is the connection. When we feel disconnected, we don't trust ourselves. We don't trust our thoughts. We don't even trust our bodies to respond in that same way. And this is the problem here, is that we have no control over what is happening to us. And this is why we feel so lost. This is why we feel so disconnected. This is why we feel like, you know what, this is not even my life. You know, I don't even know what is going on. That is the issue with emotional trauma. And what is a phenomenon to me, okay, or something hard for me to comprehend or difficult to comprehend is why is it that this happens in these types of dynamics, in these relationships? Why is it that when you have a relationship with someone who isn't toxic, someone who isn't a narcissist, someone who isn't a psychopath, a sociopath, we don't experience this? It's only in these dynamics that this happens. It's like, I always say this as well, like, why is it that only in these types of relationships we are trauma bonded? We are trauma bonded to this person. But in other relationships, it's not like that. And so there's this push and pull dynamic. It creates this kind of codependency, even though maybe we weren't before, but we end up being codependent on this person because we have been tricked into this. We didn't know, we didn't willingly go into this and think, oh yeah, like I want to be tricked. I want to be just dependent on this person's approval. We have been tricked into this, actually. And it's bear with me. Can you hear me again? Do you know what, guys? I'm really sorry. Really sorry. Thank you for telling me. It's my dodgy mic. I know. Look, here it is. Stupid thing. Come on, guys. Something has to go wrong. Something always has to go wrong, doesn't it? Right, so the sound's back. Can you guys hear me? Okay, cool. So, what was I saying? Thank you. Thank you so much with my stupid mic. Thank you very much, Eric. Yeah, and so we're like, so in that time we're not getting it, like we're not understanding what the hell has gone on, you know. So that's why we're not acting from a place that is authentically us, added to the fact that we are being triggered left, right and center, you know. It doesn't, none of this makes sense. So this is the emotional trauma, because it's like you're seeing reality, or you're understanding your life or who you are, like beforehand, and then all of a sudden this person changes it up for you and you're like, what the hell, really? And that is the thing, because you're lost in all of this. You don't understand it. It's not actually you. They tricked you into this. It's an illusion. That's what they do. But you got out of it. All right? You are out of it. You are not there anymore. But this is the journey back to you. This is the crux of the situation, is to try and understand what is happening to you, not the relationship, not that. We know who they are. We know that they are toxic. We know they are narcissistic. This is the journey back to you, the connection to self. When we're in the midst of this trauma, okay, when we are not ourselves, we're experiencing this bond we are traumatically bonded to the narcissist. And in this trauma bond, we are unable to make sense of what has happened, because we are in this fog. We don't understand what is going on. We don't understand ourselves. And it's like where a lot of us say we're a shell of our former self, like someone who we don't recognize. And the reason why this happens is because of this separatedness, because of the trauma. So it's a protective measure that our brain does to stop us from over experiencing the perceived threat. And that's what it is. It's perceived threat. It's something that we have always had, you know, like since the days of like when we were in, you know, like primitive living, like caveman, you know, like if there was a threat, you know, like this is what we would do. We would have this adrenaline rush and we would do something about it. But this is emotional. This is unseen. This is felt trauma. This is what we feel. And again, because we're not trusting it, we don't know. We're not responding in a way that is authentically ourselves. Sorry, I have to adjust my position here. Okay, so we're not acting in a way that actually is us. So what is happening to the body at that moment? So our system, okay, is being flooded with two hormones. That is adrenaline and cortisol. Now together, they are a poisonous mix. And what it does do is it is kind of like this rocket fuel that propels your body into taking some sort of action. But when the body has too much of this hormone, it causes issues, health issues. Because what happens is it actually stays in our body for longer than it should. Our body is unable to get rid of it if we're not doing things that can help us. So if we have too much cortisol in our body, sometimes what happens is we can have higher blood pressure, stomach problems, IBS, cognitive fog for longer than we should. Our heart doesn't function in the right way. We're not able to sleep. We're not able to, our appetite is changed. Our perception is also changed. Because we're not sleeping, our mood is altered. Can you see the effect that this has on us? Can you see how derogatory this is? Now, imagine if you're going through this for years and years and years. you know, over time, this can cause real issues, like really awful issues like diabetes, you know, illnesses or diseases that can actually kill us. So staying with a narcissist actually kills us. Because if we are stuck in this for long periods of time, for more time than we should be, this actually damages us. And absolutely, I've just seen in the comments, yes, fatigue, immune system, cognitive dysfunction. You're not processing things the way that you normally would. So absolutely, Wisty Christie, think again. You're being hoovered. You're missing them. You want answers. This is what is going to happen. Because even if you get the answers that you want, even if you hear from them, you get that validation in that moment. But at the end of the day, what are you willing to pay that price for? Like, what price are you willing to pay? Because it's going to cost you your health. Over a long period of time, you see, my friends, over a longer period of time, this has dire effects. You know, also, your body starts to malfunction. For example, your body is unable to secrete the correct hormones that it needs to, because if your body gets used to producing high amounts of cortisol, the body is unable to flush it, which is why we end up having inflammation within our body. Our body becomes too acidic. The pH balance is altered. Now, if your body is too acidic, then what happens is this is where illnesses come up. This is where your body becomes ill and is unable to fight these illnesses, which is very important, my friends. Very important that you have a alkaline-based system, because if your body is more alkaline, then your body is healthy. It is better, or your body is better able to fight these illnesses or anything that comes up. You have a stronger immune system as well. So things that will alkalize your system is green vegetables, certain proteins, magnesium, what else? Vitamin C, D, and K. This is so important for you to get a varied diet, because this is about keeping your body and your mind healthy. You need to be able to heal it. Yes, there is a point. You're healing it cognitively, you know, you're doing the work for your well-being, but then there's your body, which physically also needs to be healthy, needs to be able to work properly. Having too much elevated levels of adrenaline, you know, this also damages, you know, your perception, your understanding, because if you're constantly being overstimulated, think about your body there as well. Like, how is it going to be able to cope? It's not. Ramas Huran, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the donations. So kind of you. Thank you. You are very, very welcome. So these are the things that you really need to think about. So remember that your body needs to be in a more pH balance that is more alkaline, and that is 7+, and that is more green vegetables, you know, fruits. Just eat healthy. Just don't eat takeout all the time. That's what I'm kind of saying. Just don't eat takeout all the time. Don't get me wrong. I do like my takeout, but just everything in balance. Everything's got to be in balance, guys. So these are the things that is going to help you move forward. Now let's talk about sleep for a little bit, because, you know, when you're experiencing high levels of PTSD, this is disturbing your sleep. This is disturbing all of your daily function. Okay? So it's not something that you can experience at certain time points within the day. It disrupting exactly everything. Everything that you experience on a daily basis. Now, this is where it becomes really derogatory, because not only have you been in this experience, in this relationship with the narcissist, This is now after, and this is what is happening. So this is what I'm saying. It's very important, all right, to be able to look at all of these things. I know that sleep is a very important factor in all of this, because when you're experiencing PTSD, you can't sleep because you're having nightmares or you're having flashbacks and things are so real. And in that point, I feel like when we are experiencing PTSD, because we are frozen within that trauma, our perception of reality changes. Our perception of what is going around us or what is around us changes. Because again, we don't trust ourselves. We don't trust what we see, what we hear. So sleep. You know what happens to the body when we don't get enough sleep. Again, this also affects our daily functioning. It affects our mood. It affects our appetite. And do you know, I read this in a book by a neurosurgeon a couple of years ago, and I know I've mentioned it in my lives or on this channel somewhere. I've mentioned it somewhere. But what I found, and I didn't know this, but if you don't get enough sleep every single night, or if you don't get enough sleep per se, you actually die younger. How frightening is that? Because I know that I don't always get 8 hours of sleep. I know that most of us don't. I get around 6, 7, and then I'll probably have a nap during the day. I admit, I am the queen of naps. I do nap. I love them. Sometimes I get like the best, like honestly, like deep sleep during the day. And yes, I did have a nap today. I think it was around 3 o'clock this afternoon. I did have a nap. So look, what I'm trying to say is it is really important to sleep, to get that amount of sleep. But when we are experiencing PTSD, when those flashbacks, when those nightmares are so prevalent, and then added to the fact we're also probably experiencing either anxiety or depression, all right? What do you do? What do you do when this is happening? So the thing is, with nightmares, with flashbacks, when you're in the thick of it, and I'm not going to lie here, it's one of the hardest things. Okay, there is not much that you can do in that moment because you're in full mode, you're experiencing it. And I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, you've got to do A, B, and C, because there's not actually much that you can do, to really be honest, when you're in the thick of it. But what this is saying to me, yes, Wisty Christy, you can meditate, but if you can concentrate in that moment, because remember, this is a disturbance of your daily functioning, so sometimes not all of us will be able to meditate, but if you can, please do, guys, do that, because it is really important for you to be able to, concentrate, to be able to relax. This will really help. And yeah, BK, yeah, that is exactly it, trying to keep your mind occupied. But you know what I would say is this: try and watch a film. Don't try and overanalyze or overthink this situation, because again, you're pulling yourself back into that emotional trauma. Ice water immersion. Yes, if you can do that, amazing, because that takes you out of your body, out of that shock. So remember, this is an overwhelm for your senses. That's ultimately what is going on here. This isn't a whole overwhelm of your whole entire body and your sensory, your oversensory stimulation. So this is about doing something. Don't stay in your bed overthinking, ruminating about this situation. Get up. Go and do something. Go for a walk. I know it's like 3 o'clock in the morning. Go for a walk. I've done it. I wouldn't be saying not to, or watch a film. Do something. Just get yourself out there. Like, don't stay in your bed and start overthinking this. Yes, your sleep is going to be disrupted, but in this moment, when you are overstimulated, when you are triggered, you're not going to sleep anyway. So it's very much that you have to, do you know what? Part of this, okay, is acceptance, all right? Because you know what? Your PTSD is not going to last for the rest of your life. It is in this moment. And what is happening, I'm going to give you the neurological side of it, of what actually is happening. Because you have been stuck in that fight or flight or freeze mode for a very long time, your body had to shut off, your mind and your body had to shut off from what you were experiencing with the narcissist. All right, now that you have got away, your mind and your body is kind of thinking, okay, I'm in a place of safety. I can now start processing and making sense what has happened here. So that's why you experience the nightmares and the PTSD at the end or after you have got away from the narcissist, is because what is happening is that your body is emotionally and through the senses, it's making sense of the situation. This is very natural. And I know it's so uncomfortable. I know that you guys, for those of you who are going through it right now, you don't want to be here in this moment because it is so tough. But the thing is, this is how your body is making sense of what has happened throughout all of this time where you've been with the narcissist. You couldn't even think properly. You couldn't even be yourself. Now you've got away. It's almost as though, your body and your mind is landing. You're landing in that moment. And that's why this is happening. It is not going to last forever. All right. It's not going to last forever. It's just that you need to go through it. All right. That is, I wish guys, there was something else that I could say like, oh, do this and this. But honestly, you'll have to go through it. And what you can do is manage it in a way that works for you. The other thing, absolutely, cold showers is another one that's really, really good. The other thing that really helps to get rid of cortisol within the body is exercise. Is actually, you could jump on the spot. You can do like the burpees. You could do, star jumps, anything. It's just to get basically that heart rate, moving so that the blood moves the cortisol out of your veins. Because the cortisol is dispersed within the bloodstream. And remember, the bloodstreams are all over your body. So this will really, really help. Oh, Wisty Christy, yes, walking barefoot. That is all about getting the negative ions from the earth. That is all about grounding. This is a huge thing. Today I went for a walk with the dog, as you do. I went into the woods today, actually. It was so lovely because it was quite sunny this morning. And you know what I was doing, guys? I was hugging trees. But I tell you something, that works, right? That is the thing. Don't call me a weirdo. Please don't call me a weirdo. But honestly, tree hugging is a thing. It does work. Absolutely. Linda Robertson, dancing. Yes. Chanting style music, listening to different types of music, that will really, really help. Because ultimately within PTSD, what is happening here is that your nervous system has been overstimulated and overwhelmed, all right, for many times, many times within a short time period. So it's like basically you've got adrenal fatigue, your nervous system isn't working properly. This is why all of your senses have gone into overdrive. So this is why you're experiencing the PTSD. So what we need to do, once you have like the episode of the PTSD, you then need to start, my friends, trying to calm your nervous system down. All right. Because again, you can't leave it in that state so that it's doing, it's in overdrive all the time, because you will have fatigue. You will get fibromyalgia, which is I think this is a product of overstimulated nervous system. And also, if you think about it as well, if your body then gets used to that functioning, to that level of functioning, it will think that it's normal. And when we function at that level, we are literally killing ourselves because it cannot be sustained. It is so dangerous for the body, all right, to actually experience it at that level. So please think about this. It's like what one of you, I think Wisty Christy, you suggested. You have to start meditating, journaling. This is about getting out into nature. Yoga's a good one, yes. Oh, Linda, yes, go and hug a tree. Go on. It's just so, Phoenix Power, you have to try it because it's amazing. It's the energy from the tree. That's what makes it amazing. And very grounding and very calming. I enjoy it, but I'm a weirdo, so that's fine. I don't mind. So, yes, the nervous system. This is about trying to calm it down. Remember, food, sleep, looking after yourself, doing exercises or getting out into nature, getting fresh air, sunshine, because that's all about getting that D3 vitamin or B3, D vitamins. I can't remember now, guys. Maybe you'll be able to help me out here. This is what is important for you to calm the nervous system down so that your adrenal systems do not become overexasperated. It's important. It is important that you do this for yourself. When you do this for an amount of time, it's not gonna happen straight away, and it's gonna feel very strange at first that you are doing this. You're gonna feel very weird doing it because it's something new, because you're not used to it. And I just wanted to say that it's okay. It's okay. But it's something that you have to practice. It's something that you have to do over and over. Remember, guys, it's about repetition. That's how our brain produces these neural pathways. It is about repetition. That's how habits stick. So at first it's going to feel weird. It's going to be weird after day 5, after day 10. But then afterwards, what you will notice is that, thank you, Laurie. You will notice that actually you start to feel a little bit calmer, because this is about calming. This is about calming your body, about giving it that safe space. This is what is important. You've got to do this for yourself, because you know what? No one's going to do it for you. You're in control here. This is something that you have to do for yourself. Sure, I mean, you can go, to the doctors or whatever, and they'll give you medication for it. But why? Why, when you can do this for you? You can do this naturally. And it will have more powerful results than if you were to take strong medication that numbs everything out. We have to go through the pain in order for us to get to the next side, to the next level. Because it's not about suppressing and numbing. We've done that for too long. And I know it's really hard. I know it's really difficult. But PTSD, is an emotional response to adversity. Your body is basically telling you that it's not okay. It's not feeling all right. It's basically saying, help me. Help me, because I've been so upset and I've not been able to make sense of this. So now what you've got to do is provide the right environment, the right things for you to feel better, for you to get better. This is in your hands. You can do this. If you take one thing from this live, please know that you are in control and that you can do this for you. Try and sleep. Try and rest. If it means that you don't sleep a whole night, then perhaps take those naps, even if it means 2-hour naps in the day. But you have to do this for you. I know that a lot of you work. You know what I used to do sometimes? I used to go and sleep in the car. I know I'm strange. I know. Sometimes if I didn't get enough sleep, I remember when I used to, oh my God, guys, I've got to tell you a secret. One time when I used to work at in the NHS, and I used to work with dementia patients. Oh my God, most of the time I didn't get a lot of sleep. And that's because I was still with the narc. Anyway, so I was working there and I was so tired, so drawn and so emotionally exhausted. I used to just go and sleep in the car on my lunch break. I made sure that I ate my lunch literally half an hour before I was supposed to go, or an hour. Or sometimes I didn't even have lunch. But my sleep was something that I really valued, so I would literally go and sleep in the car. And it didn't matter if it was the winter, I'd have the engine running, because do you know what? I just valued that, because the thing is, the sleep is the most important, because it's how your brain functions. And if your brain is working okay, then your body will as well. Thank you, Flying Cosmo. I know, because like if I say this out, like people are going to think, Anushka, you're so weird. Like, why would you do things like that? But sometimes you've just got to make these things work for you. Sometimes, you know, life isn't so simple. It's just that you've got to make certain things work for you. And actually, when I used to work at the hospital, I used to have a friend. She was an occupational therapist, and I was working with her on the wards. And I remember she was one of those people that could fall asleep anywhere. So I remember we were doing a consultation with one of the dementia patients, and because it was so warm, and it was like the afternoon, straight after lunch break, I remember she was writing the notes, and then literally I'm like calling her name and there's no response, because she's sitting at the desk with her back to us, and I'm calling her name and there's no response. And I walk over, she's literally fallen asleep. Guys, she had fallen asleep like in the middle of this consultation. I was like, oh my God. Anyway, this is the thing. You've just got to make it work for you. Whichever way it is, whatever it is, it's just you've got to make it work for you. And you have to take control. Remember, you are not victims in this. You are not even survivors. Don't put labels on it, because once you put labels, you live up to those labels, and we are not. Our life is not defined by, you know, a majority of labels. This is about you taking control. This is about you taking ownership for you. Now is the time for you to make your life happen, but you are in full control. And I understand that with PTSD comes anxiety. And I know a lot of us experience this, including myself. I do experience anxiety. But you see, and sometimes it stops me from sleeping when I'm triggered or I'm overstimulated. It does happen when I'm out with large groups of people. There's too many people. Then I experience anxiety, because I can't be around a lot of people for a long period of time, because I take on their energy. I feel it. So the anxiety is something that, again, we have to live with, and it goes hand in hand or parcel with PTSD. And it's not the matter, again, it's not the matter of us getting irritated with ourselves. It's not the matter of us being harsh on ourselves. We've just got to accept it and go with that flow. Yeah, I used to get so annoyed, the fact that, you know, I would be up at night, you know, like 2, 3, 4 o'clock, and I'm still not asleep. It's like 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm still not asleep. You know, and I've got work in the morning. But it's about being able to manage it. It's about being kind to yourself, because it's not, your body's not doing it to annoy you. It is going through something. And it is telling you that it's not comfortable. It's not okay. All right. And so that's why, you know, it's important for you to have a little bit of acceptance and patience with yourself. This isn't just going to go away like this. You've got to start being patient and doing the best that you can for you, because you are in charge of you. You have to look after yourself. Okay, that's what's important here. You have to start looking after yourselves first. So take that step back and think, okay, bless you. Do you know what? I know that you're awake. You know, and that's how I kind of understood this, because you know what? I haven't had like an anxiety attack for quite some time. That's because I'm a lot kinder to myself. Yeah, I used to judge myself. I used to get so annoyed with myself too. But you know, if I wake up sometimes like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, I watch a film, or I go on YouTube and watch a video, you know, something that's inspiring. Sometimes I watch like fashion blogs, because they're like mind-numbingly boring. So that helps me to go to sleep, you know, like things like that, you know. So I know a lot of people would say, oh, that's blue light, Anushka, you shouldn't be doing that, you know. But what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to change my thoughts, so I'm not overthinking, so I'm not sitting there ruminating over things like, oh, but why did this happen, maybe I should do this, oh no, you know, it's not about that. It's about occupying, it's about kind of like distracting yourself in that moment. And what you will find is you will stop thinking about the thing that is making you anxious, and then you will start to, you know, your nervous system will stop feeling so overwhelmed, and it will calm down. But ultimately, this is about helping yourself. These are about putting these practices in motion. It's important. Carrie Ann, oh, you're all the way from Quebec. Bless you. It must be so either early in the morning. No, you're behind, not forward. So it's during the day. Thank you so much for watching. Yes, that's right, Michael Sullivan. It is about coming out of your mind. It's not overthinking. Don't start overthinking, like leading into these thoughts, believing them, because remember, these are thoughts. We are not our thoughts. And at that moment when we're feeling quite vulnerable, this isn't about overcoming and controlling and knowing this. It's just about managing it in that moment. I'm talking about when we're having panic attacks, or when we're having a PTSD episode, or when we're having an anxiety attack. What I will talk about later is when we do come out of these adverse situations, in these moments, what you can do for you that will really help you. Oh, I see. Okay, it's 4 to 5, right? So just before dinner. Thank you, Carrie Ann. Irina, hello, all the way from Sydney, Australia. Goodness, thank you for watching. That's right, Wisty Christie, one moment at a time. That is how you've got to look at it. One moment at a time. There's no point trying to run. Just crawl at the moment. Get from one moment, from half a day to the next, from the morning to the afternoon to the evening. What I will say to you, look, I know that for a lot of you, this is uncomfortable right now. And I know it's really difficult to cope. I get it. You know, because we're all at different stages of our recovery. But what I will say to you is this is not going to last forever. Nothing lasts forever. Life is fluid and things change. And what you're doing here is you're trying to help you move forward. That's all you're doing. You're just moving. You're being fluid and you're going forward. That is what is happening here. This isn't about thinking, oh, you know, I'm trying to understand the narcissist. Why did they do this to me? Like, this shouldn't have happened. No, it shouldn't. No, it shouldn't, but it did. It did happen. And you got through it. And you are here now. And you are getting through it. And you are going to get through it. Because I'll tell you something, your life is never going to be the same. But in a good way, it's never going to be the same. You are going to learn about yourself, things that you never even thought you knew. This is what happened to me. I am not the same person I was 5 years ago, 10 years. I can even tell you I'm not even the same person that I was last year. But I'm not that person anymore. And that's okay, because I'm wiser. William, that was a good one. That was good. I'll give you that. We are malleable. You're right, Wisty Christie. We are. For those of you that have joined, please do hit the like button. We'll get this information out there. Oh, do you, Irina? So you fall asleep and wake up to them. Bless you. Gosh, listen, you must be bored of my voice. You do. Carla, you're absolutely right. Once you get over the knock, you start seeing the red flags everywhere. Do you know what? This is so true. I don't know if this is a thing. I don't know if all of you have noticed this, but you are, Carla, you are so right. It's kind of like you start seeing that it's everywhere. And you're like, hold on a minute, am I going mad here? Why is this happening? But do you know, I think that it is everywhere. I do think that it is, but I just think it's been hidden. I think it's hidden, or a lot of people are not aware of it. Because we've become aware, this do you know what? This is why I feel like we are more in tune, like we are more tuned into what's going on. And that's what I'm saying. That's why then we have to put boundaries in place. But again, guys, we can't get to this point if we haven't done this for ourselves first. So if we're still experiencing PTSD, there's no way you're going to be able to put boundaries in place because you haven't dealt with this. This is the foundation, guys. If you're experiencing, this is the foundation. Get your sleep right on track. Get your food, like make sure your food is healthy. Make sure that you are doing well. Make sure that you are okay in yourself. You're doing the meditation. You know, your nervous system isn't overstimulated. You're not experiencing fatigue. This is the foundation, guys. Once you do this, then we go to the next bit. And the next bit is about building from there. This is about understanding neurologically how our brain works, because in this moment, we've got that bit done. Now we're understanding, right, we need to put new habits in place. But none of this is possible if you haven't done this part. Remember, this is all in stages. And remember, you will only do this only once in your life. You won't have to keep, doing it over and over again. Get this bit right. And I know it's awful and I know it feels uncomfortable, but there is no other way around it. You have to go through it. It is awful and it is hurtful. You've got to go through it. There is no other way around it. So then we go on to the neurological side now. Okay, neuroplasticity. Do any of you know what this means? Neuroplasticity. This is something that I think I talked about this in a couple of lives back. What I did, my master's in clinical psychology, I did a whole study on this, on neuroplasticity. This is why I know it works. I've got scientific evidence that this stuff works. Okay? This is about repetition. This is about doing things over and over. You know you can create whatever it is that you want. Manifestation is real. You can have or be whoever you want. But first of all, let's understand it this way. Sorry, let me get myself more comfortable. I've got a big pillow on this chair and I feel like I'm sliding. I tried to make it comfortable so I wouldn't fidget so much, but it's not working, is it, guys? So, neuroplasticity. The study that I did for my master's in clinical psychology was all about priming the brain, okay? So what you're doing is you are using repetition to enforce certain habits. Remember, our brain produces, our brain is filled with a whole load of neural networks. We don't use all of them. And, oh, hello, Espana from Greece. Thank you. We love you too. I'm going to be there very soon, literally in about 3 weeks. Anyway, so our brain is literally neural networks. Okay. We don't use all of them all the time. So what happens? Those ones that we don't use, they die off, which is a good thing. Guys, it's a good thing. It doesn't mean that our brain is dying. Not at all. We've got to keep stimulating it. We've got to keep feeding information, doing the repetition, because that's how we learn new habits. It doesn't mean as we get older that our brain has to cognitively decline. That isn't a thing. Our brain doesn't need to age if we are sleeping and eating well, all right? This is very important. And exercise, all right? This is about exercising our body, exercising our mind. So, repetition. If you want to create a new habit, you have to keep repeating it, because remember, the brain is a muscle. And if you're going to exercise your muscles, you're going to have a banging body, okay? You're going to look great at the beach, all right? So if you're exercising your arms and not your legs, you're going to have a great top half. You're going to have flabby legs, okay? So if you're continuously exercising your mind, you are feeding it information, you're doing the work, you're doing the repetition, all right? This means that your mind is going to get strong. that you are going to become very aware. You are going to be able to understand yourself. So if you're trying to initiate new behaviors, trying to, I don't know, get away from or learn new habits, stop the conditioning from, thank you very much, Alina, from Ukraine, all the way from Ukraine. Thank you. I hope everything's well there. From Utah as well. Hello. So if you're sorry guys, so if you're trying to deprogram all of this you've got to keep repeating it. That's how things stick, because neural pathways, when you're repeating things over and over, they become stronger, which means that you're using that part of your brain, and you're initiating, you're making it happen, you keep doing it. This is why when you're studying for exams, you have to read the same bit over and over again. I remember, how many times did you have to go over learning algebra? Not that we use it today, but hey, you know what? You had to learn how to do algebra, or you had to learn certain theories. And that's why that information stuck. Now you know what A plus A equals. I don't. So I don't know if what you're going to say is the right answer. Anyway, so creating those neural pathways is really important. That's how you make things happen. That's how you create this new life. That's how manifestation works, ultimately. You have to keep going forward, keep going forward. Just as a side note, as I was sipping that water, trauma puts blocks in neural networks, in our neural pathways. And what it does is it stops. So if you've got a neural pathway there, trauma stops it, trauma puts the block. So this neural pathway stops forming or stops growing. So what it does do is it kind of goes round and then keeps going up. However, because of this block, all right, it hinders the progress, or it delays the progress. So this is why, for example, when you do experience trauma, this is the cognitive fog, because there's a lot of blocks that are put in that place. But you see, think about this. All right, so it's put a block, but what happens is the neural pathway, it goes round it. It doesn't stop. It figures out another solution. And isn't that clever, guys? Isn't that really clever? That we don't just give up. We keep going. We find another way. So let's take example of nature. Let's take example of that. You don't just give up. You find another way. Yes, there's always going to be blocks in your life. There's going to be things that happen that we cannot explain, we cannot understand in that moment. But we've got to keep going forward. Just because this person was in your life, they were a block. But it doesn't mean that your life begins and ends with this person. What has happened is awful, and it's been so painful. But you know what? You got through it. You've learned new things about yourself. You've got to keep going. You don't just give up. This person exists in your past. You're in control if you want to still remember. If you want to call that memory up and remember it, that's more for you. You don't have to. Even if you are experiencing the trauma bond, you still don't have to. You're going to get through this. Trauma bonds are curable. You will move forward from it. It's a choice. It's a choice. Think about this differently. All right. Think about this differently. It's your body's response to something that has happened to you that has been unfortunate, painful, and what the body is doing is trying to make sense of it. That's right, Michael. Unfreeze. All right. So instead of, you don't stay stuck in that moment thinking, oh my God, this is the worst thing, blah, blah, blah. You're like, okay, is that what you got? I'm going to get through this. This ain't going to stop me. You picked the wrong person to mess with. and you move forward. Because remember, it's a choice. Choice whether you want to retrieve that memory, choice whether you want to stay stuck and thinking about this person all the time. Of course you don't. I know you guys don't. I'm just saying it so that you guys understand that you've got a choice in all of this. This doesn't mean that you have to be a victim in all of this, because that is victim mentality and you are not victims. So when we're looking at it like this, the most important factors is getting enough sleep, calming the nervous system down. All right, calming your nervous system down. That is doing meditation, listening to calming music. Some of you have put yoga. Paddy, no, that's the neighbour's dog. Can you guys hear it? I had to open the window, so I have the heating on, and it's just got a bit hot because I'm cold. Sorry, that's next doors. That's Alfie's girlfriend, actually. Dog's name is Isla. But Alfie is a bit of a floozy because he's not that into her, but she really loves him. Anyway, I'm digressing here. Yes, so meditation. Some of you have put yoga. Yoga's really good because you're moving your body. Pilates, getting down to the gym. For example, that worked for me. I'm not that keen on yoga. I do it now and again, but for me, I like going to the gym. I love like lifting weights. For me, it's about that physical contact, feeling the pain of lifting weights. That works for me. Bike rides, but most importantly, this is about, also getting out into nature. I think one of you have said, Wisty Christie, I think it was you that suggested, walking, barefoot on the grass. This is really important as well. This is something that I haven't done this year because it's just so cold, and I'm really hoping that it will warm up. Anyway, this is really, really important because that gives the negative ions from the earth. This is what really helps to ground us. Tree hugging, woods, that sort of thing. That's because that's available to me. If I had the beach available, then I so would be down there. I really like the sounds of the water, of the waves of the ocean. So yes, it's really about taking valued or taking conscious action to doing something for you. Yeah, nature really helps. And so then what you move on to doing is reframing. And that's what I was saying about the neural networks. It's about reframing the situation, the way that you see it. And by this point, you will already have been feeling a shift within you. You will already start to feel better. There might be days where then it doesn't feel so good, that you are drawn back thinking about it. But, again, it's okay. I just want you to know that it is okay. Because not every day is linear. Our emotions are not linear. You are going to experience that pain. You are going to maybe cry for the whole day. You are going to feel really down that this has happened, but it's okay. It's one of those things that you have to go through. You can't avoid it. Don't suppress it. But don't stay stuck in that. Move forward from it. It can creep up on you. You're not expecting it, but don't stay in that moment. Do these things for yourself. Put some calming music on. Put some music, something that's got 432 or 528 megahertz. This is about healing. Music is about love. So it's the vibration of love. it is important for you to do these things that will really help you, that will really help your body and your mind to recalibrate. Linda and BK, you see, this is a great example because it doesn't mean that you stay stuck. It's something, it doesn't last forever, and I'm so happy to hear that you're, that you're starting to see the light, that you're feeling a lot better. This is the thing. For those of you who are right at the beginning of this journey and it feels almost like death, know that you will move forward from this and that this is curable. Doesn't mean that you are going to be like this for the rest of your life. Andy, yes it is. I also love the sound of rain. On YouTube, all right, they've got ASMR videos that's all about rain. Like, it's just all you do is hear rain. And I do listen to it sometimes. When I can't sleep or when I feel, maybe a bit too agitated or something, this is really lovely to listen to rain music. I absolutely love it as well. Thanks for that suggestion, Andy. So when we experience this, we also go through, I just want to add this in just as a side note, we also experience this as a spiritual awakening as well. Because these narcissists, they are karmic relationships. They have been sent into your life for a reason. And for whatever reason it is, it's karma unspent, but it's something that you had to learn about yourself. So it's about seeing the lesson. It's about seeing, oh, okay, why was this person in my life? What has been going on? Why? What lesson was it that I was supposed to learn from this person? It's about you. It's more about an awakening. It's about you it's about knowing you, how to get to know yourself better. So these are the things that kind of like you have to consider. Why this person was there. Maybe it's not always a nice thing to know, but it's better that it's awareness. At the end of the day, it's awareness. And this will trigger your spiritual awakening. And in a way, it's a gift. Not the narcissist, don't shoot the messenger, don't kill me for saying it. No, I'm not saying they are a gift. It's what comes after. That's what I mean, the awakening. That's the gift. So, the journey back to yourself, it doesn't stop there, does it? It doesn't stop there doing all of these things. This is something that you have to continue to do. You will level up. You will learn new ways of being. Oxford, bless you. Thank you. Thank you so, so much. Feeling so awakened, it's scary to me and overwhelming. This is a really good point, Oxford. This is a really, really good point, that actually it can feel very scary because you enter into a new way of being, into a new chapter of your life, something that you've never experienced before. And you're thinking, oh my God, am I on the right track? Is this what's supposed to be happening? Why is it happening like this? What is going on? Why? So it can be very overwhelming and very scary to understand that actually this is what is happening. But you see, little by little, you are noticing the kind of the benefits of your work so far. You are noticing that you are feeling a little bit different. You're thinking a little bit different. Maybe you haven't thought like this, ever in your life, but actually it's a new way of being. The new neural pathways have kicked in And that is what is happening. It feels scary because it's not something you've ever done before. And we do fear it. But don't stay in that fear. The fear is what keeps you comfortable, doing the same thing over and over again, but you never progress anywhere. So that's, Oxford, that's a really good point. It does feel scary. But in order for you to get to the next step, to level up, this is about you taking your power. Okay? Creating that reality that you want, creating your life, creating abundance in all forms, whatever that means to you, creating that abundance, creating the life that you've actually always wanted. And remember, this is all about vibrational frequency. This is what I was talking about before, the manifestation. Remember, you are changing neural networks. This is the third bit. This is the bit after when you've done the bit after the PTSD. Then you get to this bit when you are calming down your nervous system and you're creating new neural pathways. This bit is where you grow, where this is the glow up. All right, my friends, this is the glow up. This is about living that life that is on purpose. You are fulfilling your purpose. You've got to a point where you understand it. And listen, I'm not saying that when you get to this bit, it is going to be plain sailing. I'm not saying that you reach euphoria or utopia at this point, because in life we are always learning. And I'm sorry if I've burst the bubble. But when you're at this stage, you understand life completely differently, all right? Because you vibrate on a higher level. You understand things, you see things for what they are. And things will never be the same again. Your life will have changed. And this is about creating that change, creating that new life, the one that you have always wanted. This is about taking action, creating that abundance for yourself. Because really, what else is there? This is your life. You want to live it on your terms. You want to live it the way that you want. And remember, anything is possible. It really is. I think about it sometimes, if I didn't go through the experience that I did, I really wouldn't be here. And you know what? Here, for me, is what I love. I love being here. I love doing YouTube. I love doing the lives. I love the life that it provides. I love meeting people, like talking with you guys, having this community. I love the fact that I'm able to serve so many people. This is what I love. But I had to create that. I also had to do the work. And yes, I was broken. Yes, I was on the floor. I did cry. I was so upset. For those of you who have been around, you saw what I looked like right at the beginning when I first started this channel. I was a mess. I don't even look like that now. That was all because of the trauma. But I said to myself, I don't want to stay like that. I don't want to be that person. But I needed to go through that awakening. I needed to be broken. I needed to go through that. But I didn't stay there. I wasn't there. I'm not there now. I'm here. This is what I love doing. This is what I feel my purpose is. It's a choice. And this is where you move forward. This is how you begin to build your legacy. Okay, because life is magical. Life is amazing. Life is special. But this is where you start building your foundations, your legacy. And what does that mean? What is your legacy? What is it that you want it to be? Where do you want to be? What do you want to do? Maybe you also want to be a YouTuber. Maybe you want to be helping people. Do it. Do it. Maybe you just want to be happy, but create that happiness, whatever it looks like. Create that for you. Because you have to be on that vibrational level in order for you to bring that into you. This is the thing that no one tells you. This is what really life is about. It's about that vibrational frequency, that vibrational match. You've got to call it in. Thank you, Joseph. You've got to call it into your life. It's about, yes, Eric, you remember that date. Oh, bless you. Yeah. That was the date that I started. Yeah. 21st December. You know, you've got to call it into your life. Because you've got to go out and get it, because it's your life. It's not out there for anyone else to do. I wish it could have been that simple, but it's not. Because this is for you. This is done for you, to help you. This is about getting really intentional about what it is that you want. How are you going to make that happen? Stop focusing on them, why they did this, why you felt this. It's not fair. No, of course it's not fair. Of course it's not. Of course it's hurtful. But if you're going to be referring to the past, how are you ever going to move forward? You know, if you've got runners on a track, they are told to look forward. They do not look back. Because if you're looking back, how are you going to see where you're running? This is what is important for you to remember. Are you in a place right now that you feel elevated, that you feel exhilarated, that you're living your best life? If not, why? What is it? What is it about this that isn't fulfilling you? How are you going to take responsibility to change it? Because remember, you make it happen. And this is how we move forward. This is how we make things happen. It's our responsibility. It's our responsibility to do that. So whilst PTSD keeps us stuck, moving forward, vibrating on a higher level elevates us. It sets us free. Mike, don't worry about that question. You know what? They're doing you a favor by discarding. They've actually set you free from jail. But they discard ultimately because they're bored of you or you didn't conform. So it's more of like a punishment. Paddy, I love that. Yeah, we all danced with the devil we thought was an angel. That's just it. That's just it. No more illusions. Life on your terms. You don't need someone telling you something that isn't true, something that isn't right. You know what? You know the truth. Yeah, God's will, God's time. You're right, BK. It's how it is. It's just, we can't change it. You know, I wish I could sit here and say, oh no, it's this. But you know, I embody all of it. It's not just the psychological side, it's not the emotional, but it's also the spiritual side. Because ultimately that's what we are. We are spiritual beings. We are energetic beings. We are emotional beings. So we have to incorporate all of it, because I can't just focus on just that one thing, because that would be unfair. That's not giving you the whole perspective. So what I have done here, guys, is I've reframed the whole situation, or I've reframed that whole experience. Can you see? Like at the beginning of this live, you were thinking, oh my gosh, this PTSD, I've suffered, it's awful, blah, blah, blah. But now we've got to this point and we're thinking, okay, I get it. I understand why I had to go through it. I get what its actual meaning is. So this is what I'm saying. You can apply this technique to anything in life, you know, about reframing it. It's not about putting like, oh, a positive spin on things. It's not about, you know, ignoring it and just completely forgetting it. It's about looking at the light and the dark, because we are both. We are also both. It's about looking at all of it and about understanding it, that actually, all right, we did this, we experienced this, but now we are here and we're going to get through this. And this is about, you know, incorporating all of it. And You know, in a way, we have been given this opportunity to rebuild our lives, to make something of it, to be somebody, to live it on our terms. A lot of people don't, because you know as well as I do, how many people go through life and life is the same old, you know, like run of the mill, like you know, it's boring. It's the same thing over and over and over again. You know, at times, yes, we wish that it could be the same old thing, the same old boring thing over and over again. But would you really? Would you have really wanted life to be like that? You would never have learnt anything. You never would have aspired to anything. It's just the same. You wake up, you know, you get dressed, you brush your teeth. If you're lucky, you have time to go to the gym and straight to work. And then you come home, you do the same thing for 5 days, and then on the weekends, you know, you go and see your friends, you get drunk, and then you do the same thing. You dread Sunday afternoon because you've got to go to work the next day. That's what I'm saying. It's those people, they don't learn anything. They just stay stuck. And a lot of people aren't meant to. In a way, if we look at it, we're the lucky ones. Oh, but look at it honestly. Don't think of it like, Anushka, how am I lucky? I had a narcissist in my life. But think of it this way, right? Right, let's look at the positive. They've given us an opportunity to become the best version of ourselves. How many of you knew that you were empaths before you met the narcissist? I didn't. I didn't know that I was that. I didn't know. Maybe some of you did, but I didn't. Like many of you didn't either. So I discovered that about myself. And so now I use that as my power. So that's how you got to look at it. Midnight Blue, I love that. Reframing to rebuild. We're building. We're not going backwards, we're going forwards. We're building all the time. We are making our life happen. It is in our control. We don't need someone telling us something. We don't need someone gaslighting us and telling us that the sky is red when it's really blue. We are in control. Not the narcissists. They discarded us. They didn't give us closure. Okay, great. You're a bunch of narcs. That's what they do. It's not just you that's experienced this. It's a phenomenon. It's something that happens repeatedly to a lot of people. So know that it's not just you. They do this, but you get through it. You understand it. You move forward. You build. That's how we do it. That's how we get through this. That's how we've got to look at the positives of this. This person is gone. They are never going to come back into your life again. They tried to destroy you. They tried to take your soul. But did they? Did they succeed? No. No, because you are still here. You are still moving forward. And you're still wonderful. That's the way you've got to look at it. That's the way you've got to think about it. We've got to understand that we are empaths, so we resonate on an energy of love, of kindness and reciprocation. All right, a lot of people don't. A lot of people have their hearts closed off. This is why I say I know the trauma can close our hearts off for a period of time. We stay stuck. We are traumatized by what has happened. Like we don't understand it. But this is why I always say to you, don't stay in that. Because that is victim mentality. You're going to stay closed. You're going to stay stuck. You know what? You're just hurting yourself. You're hurting yourself because you're not seeing this from a different perspective. And that, my friends, is what the narcissist wanted you to close off, to separate. Because what they are doing is giving you a taste of their life. That's who they are. They are separated. They are closed off. They don't understand themselves. They cannot heal. They don't come from a place of love. You know, if you really look at it, their personality, their authentic selves has been traumatized out of them. So they are literally just a shell of their former self. They're never going to be able to return back to homeostasis, to come back to, to plateau of who they ever were. It's done. It's gone. But that's not where you are. That hasn't happened to you. You still have your soul. You still have your heart. You're still going to go forward. You're still going to heal from this. They're not. They don't get that. They're just going to continue doing the same thing over and over again. Like, how boring does it get? I'm sure they are bored. I am sure that having the same relationship on repeat, but just a different face, different body, like, how boring does that actually get? I know that I would be bored. We don't have that problem because we don't do that. And that's what you've got to remember, that we come from a place of love. And that is one of the highest vibrations. Because we've got to learn to love ourselves again. We did before. We loved others. But the problem is that they cannot accept that, so they have to exploit that. That's why. You're absolutely right, Wisty Christie, they do. Laurie, I love that. I love that. Thank you. And you're right. They're not a real person. They're not. They have gone. They have exited the building. And so they're just coming from an ego place. They're coming from a nasty place. When we understand how our ego controls us, literally the narcissist is just a representation of that, of a dysfunctional ego. Something that's trying to protect itself. Someone that's so lost within themselves, trying to understand the world around them. But we are not that. This is how you got to think. Like, that is the end game for the narcissist. Their life is on repeat. Eat, sleep, repeat. How does that song go? I can't remember. Anyway, that is what they're doing. They don't experience emotions. They don't experience life the same way that me or you do. So it's very different. And that... Okay, if we stay stuck in that trauma, we stay stuck in that PTSD, that anxiety, we're not kind to ourselves. We don't give ourselves a break. We don't give ourselves that understanding. That is what we are going to become. You're right, Groundhog Day, Paddy. That is it. Same thing over and over again. Is that is that life? Because I know that we did not come onto this earth to have this human experience for it to be Groundhog Day. The narcissist, unfortunately, because of life circumstances, is stuck in that. You're not. You make a choice. You make the choice. Invest in yourself. Understand this a completely different way. Because you can move forward. You can heal from this. You can build a life full of abundance and love, the one that you have always wanted. But it's about having that belief in yourself and knowing not to shut down, because trauma keeps you shut. That is what's happened to the narcissist. The trauma has kept them shut. They're just repeating the same old patterns. But you create, you can create that abundance, that financial freedom. It can happen. I know a lot of you have had your finances taken or stolen, but they can be rebuilt. And that is a talk for another day, because I'd love to do a talk on how to do that, on how to rebuild finances, elevating your life to another level. But what I'm talking about here is the emotional trauma, that we transcend the emotional trauma. What we learn is what we mustn't do is have boundaries. Like, we mustn't sell ourselves short. Do we really understand our value? That is what is important, not to sell ourselves short. And of course, we don't deserve that either. We deserve more. But remember, we teach people how they should treat us. And if you have to exercise boundaries, it's because that person doesn't have respect for you. You wouldn't have to put boundaries in place if that person had respect for you. And it's not rude for you doing that. It's rude for them not having that respect for you and that value, because this is what you do. You show other people that. Oxford says, Anushka, you make me feel like anything I want is possible. It is. But how can we trust people again? Do you know what, Oxford? First of all, you've got to trust yourself first. You've got to learn to trust yourself first. Because you will have an inkling, you will have a feeling about how that person feels to you. If they don't feel good, if maybe their behavior is a little bit shady, your intuition will let you know. Your intuition will tell you that something's not right. And that is the trust. The trust ultimately is the connection to self. You see, a lot of people don't do things out of spite. I'm not talking about narcissists, because they do. I'm talking about people in general. People in general do hurt you. And I know a lot of them don't mean it, because they are acting out from an ego. And remember, we are all conditioned to trust our ego, because our ego is our survival mechanism, and it has been so overstimulated. We are so living in fear, and this is reinforced on a daily basis from different sources. Again, I'm not going to go into that, but you know what I mean. So we're constantly living in a place of fear. Okay, so we feel cut off from our real authentic selves. So when you have other people out there that are living on that level, and they are living in this fear, and they don't know themselves, they cut themselves off from their emotions. They can't tell you how they really feel. They can't tell you, what is going on for them, because they're living in fear. They're scared all the time. They don't understand unconditional love. Love for them has been conditional. Everything in their life is conditional. So when these people come to you, they just come from a place of fear. And that's what I'm saying. A lot of people are like that. It's not that they mean to do it. It's not that they intentionally do it to you. It's just that they have no other way to respond to a situation that they have been put in, that they don't understand, that they feel afraid, they feel scared. They use it against you. They use their blockages, they use their fear against you, or they use their fear against you. But you know what? You're going to get through that. It doesn't mean that you've got to take on their fear as your own, because it's not. Wisty Christie, absolutely. I second that. Know thyself. Connect to you. Open your heart to you. Listen to the 528, 432 megahertz music. Open your heart chakra. Open it to yourself. Put boundaries. Don't be afraid to exert those boundaries. It is scary sometimes to say no. But what's the alternative? You're going to allow this person to walk all over you? No. So it's not selfish, because it's not working for you. It doesn't make you feel good. Put your boundaries in place. So Oxford, that really is about you. Connect to you, to yourself. Connecting to yourself means learning about you, spending time with yourself, learning about basically you. Because remember, most of our lives we have been taught to disconnect, to feel like to feel inferior of ourselves. Remember, it's like what I was saying earlier. We are taught to live in fear. Again, this is reinforced on a daily. It's really sad to see, you've got children at school that don't really understand themselves. By the time they get to 15, 16, 17, they've already diagnosed with depression. Their life hasn't even started. This is so sad. This is such a phenomenon that is happening. Really sad. Because we are not taught this. It's only through these adverse experiences, through trauma, that we learn that this is a thing, that we have to learn about ourselves. Isn't that what we went to school for? No. No. So this is about your own knowledge, building up your knowledge about you. That is the connection. Our intuition, we've all got intuition. It's all inbuilt. That's our internal compass. Karen says, how do we get revenge on the narc? My dear, do you know what I'm going to say? Is live your life the best way that you can. Be you. And ignore them. Honestly. That is how you get revenge. It's not about going head to head with a narcissist. Don't do that. It is a fruitless task because they will always win. Not that you're not good enough. It's not that you're not good enough, because that's from that level that they operate. So they don't understand when someone just moves on and ignores them. They just live there. You just live your own life your way. So that's how you get revenge. And also, I think I've done some videos on that on the channel. I think I did one last month. So if you scroll down, you'll see that there is a video on how to get revenge on the narcissist. Quite a popular one, I think that one was. But that is a good point to bring it up at that time. Because revenge, okay, it's not about that you're taking revenge. You know what? It's like you dissolve that, you transcend that. Because this is about you. Concentrating on you. They don't like it because they want you to concentrate on them. They want you to serve them. And actually, this brings me to another point. Is that they saw this light within you. They saw these qualities within you. And they picked you. You at that point didn't see these qualities or didn't know that you had these qualities. But they did. They saw something in you that you did not see in yourself. And so, why they pick you, for what reason? For your light, for your energy. And that is what you have got. That's what you were born with. So this is about elevating that. This is about harnessing it to use it for your advantage. So you can make the life that you want. You can move forward. You can make this happen for you. It's about seeing it for what it is. The narcissist wanted it from you. They thought that they could keep you shrouded in lies and gaslighting. They thought they can keep you in this cage. But you showed them. You showed them that actually they don't own you. That you don't belong to them. You are your own person. And if they can't care for you, if they can't, reciprocate what you did, then goodbye, my friends. See you later. Bye. You deserve better. So this isn't about something that you have lost. You haven't lost anything. You've gained your life. They have lost control over you. They have lost that supply. That's why it's called supply. Because it's your energy. It's your life force energy that they saw that they want. Isn't it? But it's yours. It's not theirs. That's the point. It's yours. You harnessed it. You grow it. You connect to it. You have so much internal wisdom that you are not accessing at this moment. And that's what you got to remember. You were picked for a reason. Isn't it funny that some people are picked by narcissists and some really they're like, no, it's not happening. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They picked you for a reason. That's right, Donna. You've lost nothing. They lost you. Regardless if they're the ones that discarded, regardless if, because remember, this is about reframing it the way you want to see it. This is about you gaining your life. They didn't discard you. They couldn't keep you. They couldn't afford you. I'm not even talking about monetary or, financially. They could not keep you. They knew that they were not for you. They tried to cling on to you, but they couldn't. So this is your power. See it for what it is. This is your energy. This is your life force energy. This is your power. That's what they tried to take from you. But they weren't able, because you're stronger than that. You transcend that. So tap into that power that you have and manifest your life. Make it happen. Move forward. Put those things in place. Make sure you're sleeping. Make sure you're eating the right foods. Make sure you're filling your mind. You're educating yourself always, constantly. If you're feeling that you're not, that you're like, you go back one day and you're like, oh my God, this is too much. Like, I can't deal with it. Listen to the podcasts, watch the videos, listen to the audiobooks, whatever it is that helps you to move forward. Okay, that's what you do. You keep your mind educated, keep it on point, keep it sharp. And then what you do, once you've gained all this knowledge, once you've got all of this, reminded yourself, you then start elevating your energy. You start harnessing your power. That's the formula. It's not about suppressing. It's not about being in victim mentality, because that's not what this is about. But nobody tells you this. Nobody says, oh, this is what needs to happen. Like, this is how you elevate. This is how you get it to the next level. No one tells you this. Because this is more about energy. This is more about spirituality. This is more about emotion. Okay, because that's what we are. We are that kind of a being. We're not here like logical beings. We are emotional beings. We use our senses to understand the world around us. And that's what you're doing. You're just elevating your senses to give you the best life possible, to give you the best experience here on this planet. So it's about really recognizing your worth, your true worth. Okay, and using it as your power. Harnessing your power. Elevating it. Knowing that you are in control of your life. No one tells you what is, what not, why. It's you. Know that you have the power and the control for anything it is that you want. You can change your health. You can bring your body back to a state of health if you do the right things. That is what is important. So guys, I really hope that this has made sense, and I hope that this has given you kind of like a new understanding. I know that I have used some cognitive behavioral ideas, because cognitive behavioral therapy is really about awareness, understanding, and it's about thoughts, it's about becoming aware of your thoughts and pinpointing where the negativity is. That's really like how I got taught what it was. It's about understanding your thoughts. And so for a lot of it, it's about, sheets of paper, writing down what you feel your triggers are, how you can counteract it, how you can react if you were in this situation at another time. And of course, this is great for those of you who want to become more aware of this. This is a great exercise. So I would say, like, if any of you want to try this is about identifying what your triggers are. Okay, and then thinking about, like, okay, so where do they come from? Where do they originate from? And then, like, on another piece of paper, write down, if you are met in this same situation, how would you react to it? Because this is really helpful to bring kind of like newfound clarity on situations. I think that's what like cognitive behavioral therapy really is about. It's about understanding this is what you do, and it's more of a neural kind of feedback. So this helps. But what I've done here is more about spiritual and energy, and it's about knowing that actually we are all of it incorporated, together. Because at the big, because when you're experiencing PTSD, like this is what I was going to say when I was talking about it in the beginning, like when you're experiencing PTSD, these logical steps forward really help. Because at the moment, when you're experiencing, the flashback or you're having a nightmare, you cannot control your emotions. That is when you kind of have lost control. But know that that passes. And so the next step is understanding, okay, so when I have that flashback or that nightmare, that is a PTSD episode. So in that moment, I can't really do anything. I'm kind of very vulnerable at the moment. I can't move forward. So when that passes, that's when you start doing the work. That's when you start building your resilience to the situation. Mike asked, what is PTSD? So simply put, it's when your emotions and your senses go into overdrive and your body is not able to make sense of it. Okay, that's really what it is. Sometimes you can experience immense amounts of anxiety, cognitive fog. You can't really make a decision. You don't really know what's going on. You might have flashbacks. You might have nightmares. So basically, it's an interrupt of your whole entire day. Yeah. So it's interrupting your daily functioning. So PTSD is very difficult when you are experiencing it, because it's like you just don't understand what's going on to your body. But you do move forward from it, and you do get through it. And so I know there's other symptoms that come with it. I didn't really discuss the depression part of it, but depression is like where you check out, you're numb from all of this. So if any of you do experience that, again, you can use these techniques, you can put these things into practice. Depression is also very difficult because it interrupts your day. You can't sleep, you can't eat, your appetite's affected, you don't even want to go out, you don't want to see anybody, you're just numb. It's where you check out. Okay, it's where you check out. But you're welcome, Mike. But again, you move forward from it. Because it means that you do come back to who you are. Okay, you're welcome, Laurie. Oh, Wisty Christie, I'm sorry, my dear. You felt depressed, but you know what? Each day as it comes, but it's not even about a day. It's just those little pockets and moments in time. Wisty Christie, you are so knowledgeable about all of it, and you've been really active in the chat, and you've really helped a lot of people with your really wonderful suggestions. So we're really grateful to you. Thank you, Wisty Christie, because you did, as I was talking, I could see you were typing. You are absolutely brilliant. So thank you for your knowledge and your insight. See, you are great too. And I know that it does get easier over time. I know. It's just, I would say, take your advice because it's absolutely amazing. So thank you for that. So what I'm trying to say is nothing lasts forever. You can surpass it. You will get through it. And this is about, you're welcome, my dear, you're welcome. You will get to the next level. It's just, it's just about managing it. It's just about going forward and not staying stuck in the victim mentality, because that's what keeps the PTSD, the anxiety and the depression going. So it's about that encouragement. And I really hope that's what this live has done, is helped you to reframe it and think of it in a different way, because I don't want you guys to stay stuck. Thank you, Wisty Christie. Love you too. I don't want you guys to stay stuck. I want you to understand that, it doesn't mean that has to be the outcome of your life. Okay? Because everything, whatever you think of it, this is all possible. Karen MC, is narcissism hereditary? No, it's a learnt behavior. So it's behavioral. So it's not something that you're born with. It's something that you learn. That is what I feel. Because remember, there is a lot of people think that you're born with it, but it's not. It's behavioral. So it's something that you learn. It's a response to a traumatic childhood. ultimately. BK, thank you. Big hugs to you too. Do you know what? You guys are my family. You guys are amazing. And I'm so grateful, each and every one of you. For those of you that do show up, for those of you that are here, you know, oh, bless you, Oxford. Bless you, my dear. It's always the darkest before the dawn. I love that. You're absolutely right. Thank you, Oxford. Bless you. Thank you so much. Oxford, I have to say that the video that I did yesterday, that was for you. You know, you did a request. I should have emailed you. But I didn't get round to it. I've just been so like major busy. Yes, absolutely. It can stay in the family. So, you know, as I was saying, just know, okay, that you will get through this. And just every day, just keep doing you, okay? Keep learning that little bit more about you. Look out for the signs, because the universe is always talking to you, always communicating with you. I have recently just learned this as well. I've been seeing numbers. White feathers I always used to see everywhere, so that I knew. But now with the synchronicities, that's on another level. The number patterns, goodness me. Keep looking out for it, because it all has a meaning. The universe is alive. And you know, we come onto this earth to have these experiences, all right? We're not meant to survive. We're meant to experience them. We are meant to live. Life is meant to be magical. And we have to go back to seeing that magic. Not through this ego conditioning that we have, that we think everyone is out there to get us. They're not. Even the narcissists, they're acting from their own trauma, from their own fear. And I know that's hard for some of you to hear. But you know what? It doesn't matter about them. It doesn't matter. What it matters is about you. 1111 BK, the angels are watching. Thank you very much. Yes, I've been seeing that all the time. It's going to be 1111 soon, actually, here as well in the UK. It's been such a pleasure, guys. Honestly, it's been so lovely to connect with each and every one of you tonight. I know for those of you that are watching that don't like to engage in the chat, and that's also fine. I also want you to know that you are also validated and seen. And I really hope that for all of you, you know, this has brought some understanding and some light to kind of know that you're not alone in all of this. You know, that we all have experienced this, and I know that a lot of you, I know that for a lot of you, this has been a really awful, one of the most tragic, most traumatic experiences of your life. But you can get through this, and it's all right, and you're going to be all right, you know. And you're going to transcend this and have the life that you've always wanted, and be the person that you were always meant to be. Thank you, Letitia. You're very, very kind. Thank you. You're very welcome. And Wisty Christie as well. You are very, very kind. Thank you. Oh, Krista, 9 years. Goodness, it's a long time. But I'm really happy that you have found your way back to you. This is so, so important. Neptune Blues, you're very welcome. I'm so glad to hear that the videos have helped. Honestly, like that is like the best like news for me. Thank you. Thank you so much. You're the best. Thank you, Linda. You're the best too. You're the best too. Mike, you will get better. I know that it feels so sad at the moment, and I know that you're feeling really awful. But Mike, keep going forward. Keep joining the lives, not even just mine, but just if other people do it, just keep learning, because it will really help you to move forward. Oxford as well. The Anushka family is strong, kind, so beautiful. Love to you all. Thank you, Oxford. You also are very kind and beautiful, and love to each and every one of you too. Zoe, you are very welcome. Thank you. Yeah, you've got this, everyone. Thank you, Zoe, for your wise words. Yes, Eric. She's in bed. I think the girlfriend's in bed now. Isla, her name is. The dog next door, Paddy, he's gone to bed. Like it's like literally 11 o'clock. They're in bed. They're in bed. No one's out having a party. Thank you, guys. Do you know what? Thank you. I can't believe it's that time. Where is the time gone? It's gone so quickly. Guys, I just want to say thank you so much for being here. I will be releasing a video tomorrow, and it's all about the weird intimacy with a narcissist. I thought I'd broach that subject again. So that's out tomorrow, 8 p.m, usual times. There's videos out all of this week. Usual time. Really hope that you can watch them. And thank you so much for watching the videos, guys, and for being here. Love to you all. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next Tuesday for the next live. And also, if you have any video ideas or subjects that you want me to talk about, please leave them in the comments, not in the live chat because I don't always see it, but leave them in the comments of the video because that would be amazing. And do give it a thumbs up. I would really appreciate it. Thank you so much, guys. Honestly, I'm checking out now. I'm going to sleep. Thank you so much. Goodbye. Bye.